All right. So now, last segment, we're rolling over to the NFC Divisional round, baby. You know what time it is. That San Francisco team that we just got enough of last week, going down to the Green Bay Packers, the only NFC team to get a first round bye. How about that? Um, Jay, this is a matchup that we seem to be. We get a good picture of every postseason here. It's a game where I think we're pretty similar in mind of what we want to see for either team to have a path to success. But I do got a question for you. If Green Bay does not win this game and does not, advance to the championship round of the playoffs, it does this pretty much make it sign, seal, and deliver. This is the last time we'll see Aaron Rodgers throwing the football for the Green Bay Packers.
Mm. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think I have much of a clue, and I would probably say anybody who thinks they know doesn't know for sure because I mean Aaron Rodgers is just one of them guys who do you really know? Are you really sure? Before the season, like we thought, man, I'm over here thinking like, get out of Green Bay and come on over to Denver. We've been looking for a quarterback for years. You know what I'm saying? So, and now, you see how this season has progressed, and it seems like things are better now. And he's obviously playing great. He's gonna. I think he'll win the MVP award for the season. So, and I think Green Bay. Right. I think Green Bay is the best team. Best team in football. I think they're the Super Bowl favorites right now coming into this postseason. The home field advantage. I'll talk about how I think for Green Bay it's a big deal. So if they lose this game and it's just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't go right and they get beat up at the line of scrimmage like they did 2 years ago on two occasions, including in that NFC Championship game. Yeah, you never know. I don't think you know. So, but I am going to say, for this game, remember Green Bay has lost two consecutive NFC title games. We know 2019 they got beat up by this 49er team. Last year I just didn't think they played that well. I think they should have beat Tampa Bay, but they didn't get it done. So it definitely would be a huge disappointment if you're one and done after two straight NFC Championship games. And I think this might be the best team he's had, especially in this decade. So the question in this game is, has Green Bay gotten tougher to the fact to where they can compete with San Francisco at the line of scrimmage? 2 years ago, that's why they got absolutely rolled in both the regular season and the playoffs. I think they have. I think they're tougher. I think they're more physical. I think their offensive line is solid and it's more built for the playoffs. I think A.J. Dillon, I know I was real critical of that draft pick last year, but now Jamal Williams is in Detroit, so you still have that good 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think A.J. Dillon adds to that physicality. Obviously, the best wide receiver, and I know, I get it. Deebo Samuel, I understand. But Devontae Adams is that dude. The only thing Deebo Samuel, I mean, you could say like, man, well, he do everything. He run the ball. Well, we talk about wide receivers. So cut it out. So Devontae Adams. But I also say, look, these guys, and I know we've been critical of the Packer wide receivers outside of Devontae Adams. But I'm going to tell you, Alan Lazard, man, he continues to play well. It seems like each and every week he get a little bit better. We know Valdez Scantling's a burner. He can stretch the field. Randall Cobb will be back for this game. We know what Aaron Jones can do catching the ball. So they got a lot of things going on. I also think, look, the Packers are getting healthy. I think Bakhtiari will be back in this game at left tackle. Zadarius Smith, Jair Alexander. I mean, these are three huge, big time. We're talking about Pro Bowl at minimum guys, all of them first-team All-Pro type of capable guys. So they're all going to play. I don't know how effective they'll be, but, man, the big thing will be up front on both sides, which is a common theme here lately. But I think the biggest thing for me, can Green Bay's defensive line, can they hold up against the run and get in situations where that host of pass rushers, talking about Rashawn Gary and then the Smith boys getting after there, can they unleash those guys and get after Jimmy Garoppolo in some obvious passing situations? And I think if they do that, if they hold up against the run, I think Green Bay is going to be fine because just Aaron Rodgers is playing on another level. And I'm looking at San Francisco's defense. They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody for Devontae Adams. So the only way that they can do it is they'll have to give a lot of help. And then look, Green Bay. If you want to leave Lazard one-on-one, Cobb one-on-one, those are guys that have proven, and Valdez-Scantling, they've proven they can hurt you. And I mean, look, Tom Brady, maybe you can throw him in this conversation as well, but nobody's playing the quarterback position better than Aaron Rodgers. I think Green Bay's learned from 2 years ago. I think they are better. They're more mature. They're tougher. And I also got to say, it's very possible, and I know I'm a big skeptic, but Matt LaFleur might have learned something too. So, Green Bay by it's going to be competitive, but I'll say Green Bay by 8.
Once again, I think for all the kudos that I give Kyle Shanahan, I think this game is probably a game where he say, I will be able to scheme and use my guys in the best way possible, but he's just going to run up against a team that's, dare I say, somewhat hungry. I think this team has been pretty hungry with all the, the preseason drama, and then the drama, during the season. I don't know, man. To your credit, this year just feels different because I can say I look at Green Bay and they look like they want it, man. I mean, they don't have many deficiencies. Even though we're not even in love with their wide receiver whole core, but it works. It works for Green Bay. Would it work for other teams? Probably not, but it works for Green Bay. Somehow, you know what I'm saying, he gets enough out of Valdez-Scantling and Randall Cobb and Allison and whoever else gets the ball out there that's not named Devontae Adams. He gets enough out of those guys where you have to respect the fact that, okay, they're going to throw the ball. All right, cool. They're going to throw it to Devontae Adams. I'm not quite sure. Let's see how this goes, right? And he picks you apart. Valdez-Scantling gets you 2-3 touchdowns, and you're like, what the? So, and then don't even get me started with the run game. Like, listen, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, man, let's keep it real here. That's a 1-2 punch that's really been living up to the bill this season, right? So if you think about it, if that 1-2 punch been living up to the bill, then that means the offensive line is doing their job. And I got to give it to them. The offensive line don't look as soft as baby stuff as I usually, look at them and say they out here looking like a water puddle. Let's just walk right on over them and keep it moving. No, man, I got to get it. I got to give these guys their credit, man. They're playing some ball. They're moving people up front, right? Now, we know what the 49ers do now. Let's keep it real here. If it's a team you want to challenge your offensive line against to see if you really doing some things, the 49ers is that team. Because you're going to have to move them out the way. That's just what it is. Them boys are bad out there. You will have to get them out the way to do what you need to do. Just as Dallas. They didn't get them out the way. You see what Zeke was doing back there. He was doing his best mime impression. He just doing this. And he ain't really getting nowhere, just doing it. So they let you know that San Francisco ain't nothing to play with on that defensive line. So I think this is a good test. I just want to see Green Bay prove me wrong. They go in this game and prove me wrong, and they move this ball, and they say, hey, we are hungry. I think these are your Super Bowl champs. Because you would be hard-pressed to find another team that would put it all together like Green Bay has this year. Yeah, I know we like Tampa. You know how I feel about the Rams. The problem is those teams have showed you a propensity to just not do something at all, whatever it might be, whether it's, pass and run it, whatever. But they just showed you they won't do something at all. Green Bay has not shown that this year. They had lost some games they shouldn't lost, like their very first game of the season. But you very rarely see Green Bay and say, dang, they don't run the ball well. They don't pass the ball well. They don't do this well. They don't do that. They do a lot of things well. And then, like you said, to the defensive credit, like, listen, man, and they're not even fully healthy on the defense. That's what people don't even understand. Their defense is not fully healthy, and they still getting the job done. Still getting the job done. So, man, to that credit, I'm gonna take Green Bay. I'm gonna take Green Bay in the points. And I'll take Green Bay to win this by 7. I'm looking at this probably 24-31 maybe. I'm looking at that, and I think Green Bay walk off into the sunset and they make it happen.
Yeah, to me, just to close out on that one, I think for San Francisco to win the game, they have to dominate both lines of scrimmage. If they don't dominate both sides, like they need a repeat performance up front, like the way they played against Dallas. But if they don't dominate, and if Green Bay gets a stalemate up front, I think they're better in the other areas to where they'll win out. The other part I think may come to be somewhat critical. I think it is going to be important for Green Bay to finish drive. Mason Crosby been a little suspect this year. So if he started out here clanking field goals, and they leaving points off the board, that might be key too. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think it feel like Green Bay's time. They hungry. They didn't learn a lot, and yeah, I think Green Bay gonna win this game. The last one, Rams Bucks on Sunday afternoon. We know what Tampa Bay and the Rams did last week. Pretty impressive wins to get to this point. I think the Rams won this regular season game this regular season meeting somewhat early in the season, if I'm remembering correctly. Drink, do the Rams get the better of them again, or do the Bucks have something for them at home?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to say the Rams probably gonna get the better of them, and I think it has more to do with the injuries that the Bucks have accumulated up to this point than it does like to say the Rams is a so much better team than Tampa. I don't think that. It's just at some point, man, you lose. You lose one guy to antics that you was going to depend on. You lose, another guy to actual injury. Then, you're not fully sure how healthy Gronk is, but you got him out there. Your running back core is just, who knows? Like, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Keyshawn Vaughn, because he's playing awesome, actually. But he ain't Leonard Fournette. He ain't Ronald Jones. So it's like, all right, cool. We'll figure that piece out. And then, Tom Brady is getting older. Yeah, I got it. He's still the wonderless age, the golden goat. I got it. But he still is what he is. He's an older guy. And listen, older guys don't like to take hits, and sometimes that could prove a detriment, right? And then I look on the defense side. Hold on. Let me backtrack. The offensive line. The one thing I think that kept the Bucks afloat this season was the fact that they did not have to shuffle that offensive line, which in return makes Tom Brady more confident every game when he know he got his 5 guys in front of him and they played every single snap this season. He feel good about that. And then he goes into this playoff game and he lose one of the best parts of that offensive line in Tristan Wirth. And he almost lost his center, Jensen, but the center, I guess he ended up getting taped up. He got back in the game, so that was good news for Tampa Bay. And then you're going against this pass rush. And then you're going against the best defensive player in the NFL. And one of the best pass rushers. And one of the most, underrated pass rushers in Leonard Floyd. It's just like, And then if you're Tom Brady, you like, oh, I got Mike Evans, so I ain't worried about it, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this thing. Well, Jalen Ramsey out there. Oh, well, he can't play all the snaps. Well, we'll figure it out. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Perriman, you ready? No, man, I'm hurt. All right. Scotty, you ready? Just throw it to me deep, boss. Okay. Now I got all these specialty players, right? And the only guy I really got to depend on is Gronk, and something tells me that the Rams gonna be a little ready for Gronk. Something tells me they gonna send some guys to chip him, block him, flip him, whatever they gotta do to make him uncomfortable and make him earn whatever catches he get. And so I look at this, man, and honestly, due to injury, and I don't want to be super disrespectful to the Bucks. I know who Tom Brady is, and I got all that. But I think this game might be a bit of a layup for the Rams. Is it Arizona Cardinals layups? No. This is like this is a challenging layup. You get the and one. It probably something like that, right?
This is an up and under.
It's up and under, right? Like it's the Dipsy Do Dungaroo, right? So I think Tampa would play. I just don't think they got enough to finish the game with the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams by 10. I'm looking at this probably 34-24 Los Angeles Rams. I think they'd be too much for the Bucks, and rightfully so due to injury.
You really almost think. Well, I'm really almost thinking the only way for Tampa Bay to win this game is if the Rams just, revert back to if they just pull an Arizona Cardinal and just flame out the way they did to kind of close out the regular season. But I do think and I think it is about injuries. I mean, I think Tampa Bay could have been with the right matchup. Let's say if San Francisco had played Tampa Bay last week, I think Tampa Bay would be out right now because I just think Tampa Bay is just so compromised from an injury perspective with the weapons. Like Tom Brady, he needs those weapons because I mean we saw it in New England the last year he was up there. Like he ain't got nobody to throw the ball to. Like he gonna be a sitting duck back there. This ain't a guy who when things break down he gonna be out here just pulling the Josh Allen or anything. It ain't happening. So I think the Wirfs thing is really crucial. If Tristan Wirfs don't play, I don't think that ain't much of a chance because then you have a situation where you're going to have a backup at right tackle, which is the side Von Miller's going to come off of. And then you're going to be in a predicament. Do you leave Von Miller one-on-one? Do you leave a tight end to help out? Do you slide the right guard over to help? What do you do? Because if you give help on Von Miller, you're not going to be able to devote as many resources to Aaron Donald. And if you can't do that, then you're in a lot of trouble. And then Chris Godwin being out, that might be the biggest deal of it all. We know Antonio Brown, that also is a big deal. So, you're down to Mike. I know Jalen Ramsey is only one corner, but now he don't have to cover all three dudes. He only got to cover Mike Evans. So you're down to Gronk probably, and I'm sorry, like Scotty Miller, Cyril Grayson, or just Tyler Johnson. I just no, not here. I don't think so. So I think the thing you got is can Tampa Bay's defense. I think it's going to be a fairly low scoring game because Tampa Bay's defense I think will overplay, and I think the Rams are going to have some trouble. I think they'll have some trouble running the ball. But I think the big thing for Sean McVay, and I think he understands this, is you can't pull a Dallas Cowboy. At the beginning of the season, they ran the ball like 10 times and they threw it like 60. You can't do that. You have to at least make the Bucks account for the run and play it, because if you just drop back over and over, then you just let the defense off the hook, and then you got JPP, Shaq Barrett, and company just teeing off on Matt Stafford, and you don't want that. So they got to at least be patient. They got to stick with it, even if it's just 2 or 3 yards. I don't think punting will be a bad thing because the Bucks, with the injuries, are going to have some trouble. They should have some trouble moving it. So I think they just have to stay patient. They stay committed to the run. And if they do that and they slow the pass rush down, there's going to be opportunities to make plays down the field to Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Odell. I think Odell and Van Jefferson are really worth watching. I think there'll be some deep shots available to those guys. And the Rams, to me, I think we came into this season, I think we both felt like once Stafford got traded, Rams and Packers look like the NFC title game. And that's no disrespect to the Bucks. But with these injuries, I think it's tailor-made for the Rams to take advantage. It's not out of the question that Tampa Bay, I mean, you wouldn't – I don't like betting against Tom Brady, but I think we've seen similar circumstances when just there's so many pieces that really matter and they're out. I think this is going to be tough. I think it's going to be too much to overcome. As long as Matt Stafford ain't out here just, looking like he in the Bird Box movie, Rams will get this thing done. I think they win it by 2 touchdowns. And with that concludes this evening's Drink of Wisdom. As always, like, listen, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jay Wise. Enjoy the games.
And I'm Nathan Drinking. And remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Drink of Wisdom.